Hi, hi everybody. It's me, Sailor Mini Moon here, Rini here. And today I'm going to talk about, what am I going to talk about? Well, today I'm going to talk about, I guess, one more time and have it over with, the dislike or the hatred or the criticism of the English adaptation. First done by Deke, then done by Pioneer, and eventually done by Viz. Now, a lot of people find fault at the English adaptation of Sailor Moon, and fine. I never said that Sailor Moon was, I never said you could never said that you weren't allowed to criticize. It certainly was allowed to be criticized. But these people, it goes beyond criticism. It goes beyond finding fault at. Basically, these people nitpick. And every single thing that you would think they nitpick at, they do. First, they nitpicked at the voice acting. That was the first thing they nitpicked at. I don't know. They claimed that the people, in their opinion, weren't talented enough, didn't have enough experience, or they also nitpick because I guess in their mind that's not how they expected the character to sound like. I don't know. But that's the first thing they nitpicked at. If you thought that was the only thing they nitpicked at, it was wrong. They also nitpicked at the animation work. Technically, it was Toei's animation work, not Deke's, but they nitpicked at that anyway. They also nitpicked at the music. For some reason, the sound, they didn't like the soundtrack for the episodes or the opening song or whatever. They complained and nitpicked about that. Then they nitpicked that it had to be edited. I mean, Sailor Moon, the English adaptation, was targeted to a younger audience. Yes, I understand that over in other countries, Sailor Moon was targeted to a mature audience, but in other countries, it was targeted to the English-speaking countries and regions, it was targeted to a younger audience. So they've nitpicked and found fault at that. But we were not done. Then they complained about editing. They claimed it was censorship. That's what they claimed. And these people will go on and they nitpicked and they claimed in the original Asian Japanese version, they claimed there was more violence. They claimed that there was a lot of, inappropriate stuff being said, but not as much. So they nitpicked because the dialogue was changed of what they said. They nitpicked because the names were changed. They nitpicked because of the editing. So I just think those people were just these people just like to nitpick at it. Then they went around and made some controversial statements that if you like the English adaptation, regardless if it be Deke or Pioneer, then you weren't a real Sailor Moon fan. And that was probably the saddest opinion that some people out there could have. Now, regardless of these people and their nitpicking of the English adaptation, Deke's version, they also nitpicked on the Pioneer version. They complained once again about the voice acting, once again about the animation work, but it was Toei's animation work again. They complained or nitpicked over the soundtrack once again. And at least it wasn't edited, but they nitpicked. They found other things to nitpick about too. So they were never satisfied with the Pioneer version either. But then the Viz version comes out, and this is when they became hypocritical. This is when they suffered from their double standards and contradict themselves, because they actually liked the English adaptation done by Viz. Why? Who knows? But eventually these same people complained about that too. They complained that it took them multiple years to finally get that one to get a redub. And I'm sure these people also nitpicked at the voice acting again, at the animation work, at the music probably. The only couple things they couldn't nitpick at was the dialogue, because that was the actual original sub-dialogue. But they found fault at the voice acting once again, nitpicked about the voice acting, nitpicked about the music. So these people, they were never going to be satisfied. They were always going to complain or find something to nitpick on. Now, nitpicking is not different from criticizing. Criticizing is when you find fault at something and give your, these people, it was never about criticizing. They might claim it was. They might claim that all the things that I just mentioned they've criticized, but it sounds more like they were nitpicking. Nitpicking is when there really isn't anything wrong with it, but you just go and try to find. You're so desperate, you'll just you'll try to find things and then complain about them, as I mentioned. Now, they're going to deny this, of course, and they're going to say, oh no, we weren't nitpicking. We were actually finding fault at. Maybe you were, but then you decided you were desperate to find fault at, so that's why you started nitpicking at every single thing I pointed out, So that's about it. The whole hatred, or wouldn't really call it hatred, but the whole criticism or the nitpicking of Sailor Moon's English adaptation was pretty sad. Okay, I'm not saying it couldn't be criticized. Never said that. But the whole nitpicking thing was just really in a really wrong, and it made it just makes them look foolish when, granted, the Geek version and the Pioneer version and the Viz version weren't perfect, okay? But to be so desperate to nitpick at all those areas I just mentioned, it is pretty sad. I'm Sailor Mini Moon Rini. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry for that burp.